sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
All right, so we're going to dive into this Liverpool match from January 25th, 2025.
Okay.
Against Ipswich Town. And
sounds good.
We've got a live match report from the Liverpool Echo, which should be pretty exciting to look at.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they had to say about this one.
Yeah, and, just to set the stage, Liverpool battling for the Premier League title,
right,
facing off against Ipswich, who's kind of struggling.
Yeah.
This is at Anfield, so
should
be a good one to look at.
Yeah, definitely.
So Liverpool won 4-1.
Wow.
Which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's a big win.
Yeah.
Especially at Anfield.
Yeah.
And, this win, it's not just about the scoreline. It actually reveals a lot about Liverpool's evolution under their new manager, Arne Slot.
Oh, okay.
So
obviously a 4-1 win is huge EE.
Yeah.
But how does this play into the bigger picture of the Premier League title race?
Well, this puts Liverpool 6 points clear at the top of the table. And they've even got a game in hand over Arsenal, who are in second place.
Okay.
That's a significant advantage this early in the season.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's looking good for them right now.
Okay, so let's talk goals. Cody Gakpo scored twice.
Oh, wow.
He's on fire. That brings his total to 9 goals in his last 9 appearances at Anfield. Is this a sign of his growing confidence, or is Anfield just like a magical place for him?
I think it might be a bit of both.
Okay.
There's definitely a home ground advantage for him, but it also reflects Slot's tactics.
Oh, okay.
Gakpo is flourishing in this possession-based system. He's finding space and getting those crucial touches in the box.
Okay, speaking of key players, Mo Salah scored too, right?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
But what I found really interesting is that the Echo actually highlighted his defensive effort in this match.
Really?
This isn't the Salah we're used to seeing, the one who usually hangs around the opponent's box waiting to score.
Right.
This tells me Slot is demanding more from his attackers, getting them involved in all aspects of the game.
Yeah, because usually he's just kind of like waiting to put it in the back of the net.
Exactly.
So that's a huge shift from the previous manager's style, which was all about that high-energy, full-throttle attack.
Exactly. Slot is bringing a different approach, emphasizing control and tactical discipline. We're seeing a more patient build-up with players constantly moving and looking for openings.
So it's not just about outscoring the opponent anymore. It's about dictating the tempo and controlling the flow of the match.
Precisely. And this win against Ipswich is a clear indication that the players are buying into Slot's philosophy.
Wow.
They're playing with confidence and purpose, working as a cohesive unit.
All right, before we get too deep into the tactics, walk me through some of the standout moments from the match.
Sure.
What really got the crowd going?
Well, besides the goals,
okay,
there was a moment where Trent Alexander-Arnold nearly scored a screamer.
Oh, wow.
His shot hit the crossbar, and the whole stadium groaned.
Trent's always capable of those moments of magic.
Oh, yeah.
Any other players who stood out?
Ryan Gravenberch had an exceptional game in midfield.
Okay.
He earned a 9/10 rating from the Echo.
Wow.
Which is pretty remarkable.
9 out of 10. That's got to be one of the highest ratings I've seen this season. What made his performance so special?
Oh, he was everywhere.
Wow.
Raking up Ipswich's attacks, distributing the ball with precision, and even driving forward to support the attack. He's really coming into his own under Slot's guidance.
Yeah, it sounds like he's thriving in this new possession-based system.
Yeah, he is.
And it's not just him, right? The Echo mentioned that 5 other Liverpool players got ratings of 7 or above.
Yes. It wasn't just a one-man show. The entire team performed at a high level.
So they're all clicking.
They are.
Okay, so let's dive deeper into this possession-based style. What are the key elements of this new approach?
Well, it's all about patience movement and exploiting space. You'll notice the players constantly passing and moving, looking for gaps in the opposition's defense.
So instead of those quick, direct attacks we used to see, they're taking their time and building up play more methodically.
Exactly. It's about controlling the tempo and dictating the flow of the match. And when they do attack, it's often with a numerical advantage, thanks to the constant movement and interchanging of positions.
Oh, okay. So they're always kind of like overwhelming the defense.
Yeah, they're always keeping the defense guessing.
Okay, so we've got Liverpool playing beautiful possession-based football.
Yeah.
They're at the top of the table. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, as impressive as they've been, it's important to remember that the season is still young.
Right.
There are plenty of challenges ahead.
What are some of the obstacles they might face?
Well, The Premier League is a grueling competition.
All right.
Liverpool will need to maintain this level of intensity and focus throughout the season, which is no easy feat.
Right.
They'll also face tougher opponents than Ipswich.
So they've aced the first test, but now they've got to prove they can do it consistently against the big boys of the league.
Exactly. And don't forget about the other competitions they're involved in. The Champions League and domestic cups will add to their fixture congestion.
Right. So squad depth and rotation will be crucial. Slot will need to manage his players carefully to avoid burnout and injuries.
Absolutely. It's a long season, and one slip-up could derail their title hopes.
So the pressure's on.
It is.
All right, let's get back to this match against Ipswich.
Okay.
Let's break down those goals and see how this new style of play translated into actual results.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's start with the first goal. It started with a pinpoint pass from Ibrahima Konate,
Okay.
splitting the Ipswich defense and finding Dominic Szoboszlai, who calmly slotted the ball past the keeper.
So a real team goal, built from the back with precision passing.
Exactly. And the second goal was all about individual brilliance. Salah received a cross from Cody Gakpo,
Okay.
and with his signature touch, controlled the ball before firing it into the net.
Classic Mo Salah. A moment of magic that reminded everyone why he's considered one of the best in the world. What about the other two goals?
Right before halftime, Gakpo showed his poacher's instincts,
Okay.
pouncing on a rebound and slotting the ball home from close range.
So being in the right place at the right time, that's what separates the good strikers from the great ones.
Indeed. And the final goal scored in the second half was a powerful header by Darwin Nunez,
Okay.
who had come on as a substitute.
So goals from different players showcasing different skills. This really does highlight the depth and versatility of Liverpool's attack.
Absolutely. It wasn't just one player carrying the team. Everyone contributed to the victory.
Yeah, as we're talking about these goals, I keep thinking about the Echo's player ratings. 5 players got 7 or above. That's not just winning, that's domination.
It's a testament to the effectiveness of Slot's tactics
Right.
and the way the players have bought into his system. And what's even more impressive is that this wasn't a fluke.
Right. This 4-1 win is just the latest in a string of strong performances from Liverpool. They're playing with a swagger and confidence that we haven't seen in a while.
It feels like they finally found their identity under Slot. And it's an identity that's built on solid defending, intelligent midfield play, and clinical attacking.
Okay, so we've talked about the positives, but were there any weaknesses exposed in this match? Anything that future opponents might try to exploit?
Well, there was that late consolation goal Ipswich scored. It was a header from Jacob Greaves off a corner kick.
Right. It made the final score 4-1, but wasn't that the first goal Liverpool had conceded from a corner all season?
You're right. Their defense has been rock solid on set pieces, but that late goal does suggest a slight lapse in concentration. Perhaps a bit of complacency when the victory was already secured.
So even the best teams can have those moments where they switch off.
Exactly. And for a team aiming for the title, those moments can be costly.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that maintaining focus for the entire 90 minutes every single match is crucial.
So Slot will need to address that, make sure his players stay sharp even when they're comfortably ahead.
Absolutely. The best teams are the ones that never let their guard down, that treat every opponent with respect.
One thing that really stood out to me from the Echo report was the description of the atmosphere at Anfield. The crowd singing, "Liverpool top of the league."
Yes. It must have been electric.
Yeah.
The Anfield crowd is legendary for its passion and energy, and they clearly believe this could be their year.
Yeah, there's a real buzz around Liverpool right now. This win against Ipswich just adds to the momentum they've been building.
It's captivating fans around the world. People are drawn to their attacking style of play, their never-say-die attitude, and their rich history.
And the characters within the team, too. Players like Salah, Van Dijk, Alexander-Arnold. They're global superstars, but they also seem genuinely likable and relatable.
There's a sense of humility and camaraderie within the squad, which resonates with fans. They're not just a collection of talented individuals. They're a team that plays for each other and for the badge.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the tactical battle in this match. How did Liverpool's approach differ from Ipswich's?
Well, Ipswich, being the underdogs,
Right.
were set up to defend deep and try to catch Liverpool on the counterattack.
So a classic underdog strategy, absorb the pressure and hope to snatch a goal against the run of play.
It's exactly. But Liverpool's possession-based style made it incredibly difficult for Ipswich to get a foothold in the match. They were constantly chasing shadows, trying to keep up with the movement and passing of the Liverpool players.
And when they did win the ball back, they struggled to create anything meaningful going forward.
Right. Liverpool's pressing was relentless, As soon as Ipswich got possession, they were swarmed by Liverpool players, forcing them into mistakes or hurried clearances.
So Ipswich were trapped in their own half, unable to build any sustained attacks.
Exactly. They were completely outplayed tactically. Liverpool's approach was simply too sophisticated and too well executed for them to handle.
Now, before we get too carried away with Liverpool's brilliance, let's remember that Ipswich are a team battling relegation.
That's a fair point. This was a mismatch on paper, and the result reflected that.
But even against weaker opposition, there are still lessons to be learned, insights to be gained.
Absolutely. And I think one of the key takeaways from this match is the importance of adaptability.
Okay, tell me more about that. What do you mean by adaptability?
Well, Liverpool showed they could adjust their approach based on the opponent. They didn't just stick to one rigid system. They were fluid. They were creative. They were willing to experiment.
So they were able to exploit Ipswich's weaknesses while also nullifying their strengths.
Exactly. And that kind of tactical flexibility will be crucial as they face tougher opponents throughout the season.
Right. Teams that will be more organized, more disciplined, and more capable of challenging Liverpool's dominance.
Precisely. And those matches will be a real test of Liverpool's tactical evolution under Slot.
Okay, so we've talked about tactics, we've talked about the match itself, we've talked about the atmosphere at Anfield. But what about the man at the helm of it all, Arne Slot? What's his influence been like on this Liverpool team?
It's been transformative. He's brought a new philosophy, a new style of play, a new energy to the club.
And the players seem to have responded incredibly well to his methods.
Absolutely. They're playing with confidence, they're playing with purpose, they're playing for each other.
And the results speak for themselves. Top of the league, playing attractive football, scoring goals for fun. It's been an impressive start to Slot's reign.
It's still early days, of course.
Yeah.
But the signs are incredibly promising. He's building something special at Liverpool.
And it's not just about the results. It's about the way they're playing. They're controlling games, they're dictating the tempo, they're creating chances.
It's a far cry from the more chaotic, unpredictable style of the previous manager.
Right. Under Slot, there's a clear plan, a clear structure, a clear understanding of roles and responsibilities.
And that clarity is translating into success on the pitch.
You know, it's fascinating to see how Slot has managed to blend the old with the new. He's retained some elements of Liverpool's traditional high-intensity pressing, but he's also introduced this more patient, possession-based approach.
It's a hybrid style that's proving to be very effective. It's giving Liverpool the best of both worlds.
They can be aggressive and direct when needed, but they can also control the game and wear down opponents with their passing and movement.
It's a testament to Slot's tactical acumen. He's not afraid to experiment, to adapt, to evolve his approach based on the opponent and the situation.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've analyzed the goals, we've delved into the tactics, we've discussed the individual performances, and we've explored the broader context of this match.
And we've seen how this 4-1 win against Ipswich, while on the surface, a routine victory against a struggling team, actually reveals a lot about Liverpool's evolution under Arne Slot.
They're playing with confidence, they're playing with style, they're playing with a clear sense of purpose.
And they're sitting pretty at the top of the Premier League table.
But as we've discussed, there are still challenges ahead. Tougher opponents, fixture congestion, the pressure of expectation.
How they navigate those challenges will determine their ultimate success this season.
Now, I want to shift our focus to one specific aspect of this match that I think deserves a deeper dive.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What did you have in mind?
The midfield battle.
Ah, yes, the engine room, the heart of the team.
Exactly. And in this match, Liverpool's midfield trio of Gravenberch, McAllister, and Szoboszlai completely dominated their Ipswich counterparts. They controlled the tempo, dictated the flow of play, and broke up Ipswich's attacks with ease.
It's worth noting that Ipswich's midfield was depleted due to injuries and suspensions. They were missing some of their key players, which undoubtedly made it easier for Liverpool to dominate.
That's true. But even with a full-strength midfield, I'm not sure Ipswich would have been able to cope with the quality and the intensity of Liverpool's trio.
I agree. Gravenberch, McAllister, and Szoboszlai are all exceptional players in their own right, and together they form a formidable unit. They complement each other perfectly.
Gravenberch is the anchor providing defensive solidity and breaking up opposition attacks.
McAllister is the orchestrator, dictating the tempo with his intelligent passing and his ability to retain possession under pressure.
And Szoboszlai is the creative Stark, providing attacking thrust with his dribbling skills, his vision, and his ability to find pockets of space.
Together, they create a midfield that is both balanced and dynamic. They can defend, they can attack, and they can control the game.
It's no coincidence that Liverpool's resurgence has coincided with the arrival of these three midfielders. They have transformed the team's fortunes.
And they are a key reason why Liverpool are now considered one of the favorites for the Premier League title.
I'm eager to see how this midfield trio performs against stronger opposition. They've certainly passed the test against weaker teams like Ipswich, but the real challenges lie ahead.
Indeed. Matches against teams like Arsenal, Manchester City, and Chelsea will be a true test of their quality.
But based on what we've seen so far, I'm confident that Liverpool's midfield can hold its own against the best in the league.
I share your optimism. This midfield trio has the potential to be one of the best in Europe. They have the talent, the chemistry, and the tactical awareness to dominate any opponent.
Now let's shift our focus to another key aspect of this match, the performance of Liverpool's attack.
So, one thing that really stood out to me in the Echo report was that quote from Cody Gakpo, where he was talking about the team's growth under Slot.
Right, and he talked about like a more possession-based style of play and
And I think this marks a fascinating shift from the Liverpool we've been accustomed to seeing in recent years.
Yeah, it's a different Liverpool that we've seen, in the past with that high-intensity, lightning-fast attack.
Exactly.
So
it's a more controlled and calculated approach.
Okay.
They're still aggressive when they don't have the ball.
Right.
But their possession phases are all about wearing down the opposition, probing for weaknesses, and creating those high-percentage scoring opportunities.
So are they completely abandoning that high energy?
Not entirely.
Okay.
They still press with intensity, but it's more strategic now.
Okay.
They pick their moments carefully, often triggering the press when the opposition is in a vulnerable position.
So it's like they have this whole other weapon now that they can use to control the game without sacrificing their attack.
And this match against Ipswich was a perfect example. They completely dominated possession, suffocated Ipswich's attempts to build anything going forward, and created chance after chance.
But it seems like that possession-based style demands a lot from the players, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not just passing the ball around, it's making intelligent decisions with the ball at your feet.
It requires technical proficiency, tactical awareness, and a high level of fitness to maintain that intensity of movement and passing throughout the match. Every touch has a purpose. Every run is calculated.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so Slot's really instilled this in his players.
He has. And the results speak for themselves. This win against Ipswich wasn't a fluke. It was a demonstration of a team that's evolving, adapting, and becoming even more formidable.
So we've seen it work against a weaker team.
Yeah.
But how do you think this is going to fare against the top teams in the league?
Right.
Ones that are also comfortable possessing the ball.
That's the real test, isn't it? The upcoming matches against Arsenal, Manchester City, and Chelsea will be fascinating tactical battles. Those teams will present different challenges, different ways to disrupt Liverpool's rhythm and control.
So how do you think Slot will adapt, his tactics to those stronger teams?
Well, it'll be interesting to see how he adapts his tactics and how the players respond to that increased pressure and intensity.
Okay.
Those matches will be true indicators of how far Liverpool have come under Slot and whether they have what it takes to challenge for the title against the very best.
This has been a really interesting deep dive.
It has.
We've uncovered so much more than just a 4-1 victory.
Yeah.
We've seen the tactical nuances, the individual performances, the implications for the rest of the season.
Absolutely.
And one thing that stood out to me is just the sense of optimism surrounding the club.
I agree.
They're not just winning.
Right.
They're winning with style and conviction.
Yeah, they look really good.
And they got this manager who seems to have figured it all out.
Yeah, he seems to have found the right formula for success.
But, the Premier League's a marathon, not a sprint.
That's very true.
There will be bumps in the road.
For sure.
There will be setbacks. How they respond to those is really what's going to determine their success this season.
Yeah, it's all about how they deal with those challenges. Yeah. And that's what makes this season so compelling. We're witnessing a team in transition, a team that's evolving and growing with each match.
So I want to wrap up this deep dive with kind of a thought-provoking question.
Sure, I like that.
We've talked about tactics, we've talked about formations, individual performances. I think there's something deeper.
Okay.
What is it about Liverpool Football Club that captures the hearts and minds of so many people around the world?
That's a great question. It's a story that resonates with people on a deeply emotional level. It's about the hope that anything is possible, the belief that dreams can come true.
Yeah. It's the history, the tradition, the fans.
The legendary players who have worn the red shirt, the iconic moments, etched in the club's memory. The feeling of belonging to something bigger than yourself.
And this Liverpool team under Arne Slot, they're writing a new chapter
Yeah,
in the club's storied history.
they are, and it's a chapter that's filled with promise and potential, but also with uncertainty and challenges.
So we're all just waiting to see how this unfolds.
Yeah, it's a journey that's captivating fans around the world, and we as observers are privileged to witness it unfold.
Well, this has been The Deep Dive.
It has.
Stay curious.
And stay informed.
We'll be back soon with more in-depth analysis and insightful discussions.
Until then, goodbye.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have the ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till